if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free, which is amazing. And there are these really cool creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. And you get to make money with no minimum listenership, which is really cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Yoga teachers, mindfulness leaders, and energy workers, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? Welcome to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll dive into conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take you from A to B and have some fun along the way. My name is Jessica Cross, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Let's dive in. Welcome back. It's Jess, and this is Marketing Off the Mat, and I hope it's finding you so well. We're starting to wind down through the end of September, which seems absolutely crazy to even say that we're approaching the fourth quarter of 2021. And I hope that your business is thriving, that you're starting to see a reemerging of your students coming back to classes. If you're teaching online, I hope people are feeling rejuvenated with your offerings and that you're doing so well. And the more that we invest in taking time to lift ourselves up with podcasts like this, with our own trainings, the more that we can serve. So I just want to say thanks for listening, and I hope that everything is going splendid. So today I wanted to talk to you about a topic that I'm very passionate about is, well, two topics: events and yoga. So if you're new to the podcast, you might not know much about me yet, but I come from a marketing and events background. I was an event producer for almost 15 years. And in addition to diving into my yoga education and building my sound healing business, Sound for Stress, and I have noticed leaps and bounds in my business and my offerings and growing my student base when I started hosting workshops and series in my business. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. So why should you be hosting workshops for your yoga, your meditation, or your energy healing business? Well, a big thing to consider with this is right now, our students are craving a deeper transformation than a standalone class. It's so true. Like, we have the tools that our students need more than ever right now. And sometimes a standalone drop-in class isn't going to do the trick. It's sure nice to have those, but our people are needing space held for them in bigger and more transformative ways. So how do we do that? Well, we put together a workshop or offer them a series. We keep them a little bit longer than, let's say, that 60-minute class. We're delivering more content. We're giving more space to implement, and we're allowing people time to process everything that has happened over the past 18 months plus. It's been a lot for everybody. So we have to remember that we have the tools that our folks need, and let's give them to them. Let's give them more opportunity to spend time with us, learning those tools, learning how to self-regulate, learning how to hold space for themselves. Let's start offering workshops and series. Workshops and series have a higher price point and value. So when you think about a workshop or a series, let's start with a workshop. It tends to be longer than 60 minutes. It's a deeper dive into a certain subject. Maybe it's a deeper dive into a certain type of practice, or maybe you're talking more about subtle body things like the chakras, or maybe it's a sound healing class like I offer. You have a bigger offering with more information, more space, more care than you can offer in a 60-minute class. So these have a higher price point because of that. You're taking more time than maybe to prepare than maybe you would for a standard drop-in class. So there goes up the price, right? Because it's a bigger offering. And the really lovely thing about hosting workshops and series is you start to establish yourself as an expert in your chosen focus. So there are so many things that we could focus on in our yoga, meditation, and energy healing businesses. As you know, I'm sure the opportunity to specialize is endless, and I want you to embrace that. What are you really passionate about? What is something that is so easy for you to speak on or develop content for that you're like, oh yeah, I could do that today if I had the time, or if you made the time by setting a workshop date on your calendar? What is something that just lights you up, or people always ask you about as the expert? Maybe you're seen as an expert in a certain area, but you're not quite aware of it yet. So I would challenge you today to start looking at your offerings, looking at the things that you speak about during your class, the type of energy that you bring. Is it how you're sequencing? Is it the meditation that you open and close with? Are you doing mantra? Do you have a focus or a plan? Maybe it's around the moons or the seasons that you could lean into and start to establish yourself as the leader in this specific area of the practice. That is going to help you so much, because it's going to not only fill your classes, it's going to start informing the other things that you offer, because you'll start to see what's resonating with people and what's resonating with you and your own energy. So you're going to learn a lot. A nice thing too to consider is offering some series. So think about series as an even deeper transformation, because it's really great to keep people for 2 hours instead of the 60 minutes. But if you have people coming back once a week for 4 weeks, and you have a curriculum that you're building upon each week, and they get to take some time at home to implement and try the practices that you have offered to them, and then come back and you debrief and you talk about those experiences, and then you add a layer in on the next meeting, and rinse and repeat, friends, rinse and repeat. So this series builds a bigger container for your transformation with the students, for their own transformation within themselves, because they are taking information, they have the time to implement, they have time to come back in community, chat about it. So there's a lot of benefits to the series, and you're locking them in. From a financial standpoint, you're keeping people engaged for multiple sessions. Is it a 2-part series? Is it a 4-part workshop? Whatever it is, you're keeping people in that container for a longer time period, and there's more transformation, which means higher price point. So that's what I have to offer for you today. I really think that you should consider, what type of workshop could you offer, even if you're a new teacher? What's something that you're super passionate about that you could just put yourself out there, put out to your audience, and see what happens? The worst that you're going to find out is you don't get any signups. Oh, that's terrible, but it's actually great because it's information. So maybe you try the other idea that's on your list next. We get clarity with action. So I invite you and challenge you to take some action. Start thinking about what kind of workshop or series that you could provide. Do it on your own, pitch it to your studio, put it online, whatever makes the most sense for you, but start hosting some events. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Send me a DM on Instagram. It's at jessicacross.co. I'd love to help you. I am very passionate about events and obviously all things yoga. So let me help. Send me a note and we can get started and maybe figure out an idea for you. Okay, have a beautiful day. We'll talk soon. Thanks for listening to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. I love hanging with you as we figure this thing out together. Do you have an idea or something to share with me? Send me a DM on Instagram at jessicacross.co and let me know what's on your mind. I'd be so grateful if you shared this with someone who could use this episode. And if you get a chance, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch you on the next episode. See ya.